Brodes Media.
What's going on, everyone? Before we attack that nonsense, if you're new to the channel, make sure you smash the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button as well. We break down Philadelphia sports every single damn day here, all four major teams, so make sure you do that. Over on Twitter, at Brodes81, that is my personal Twitter account. Hit the follow button there, too. And lastly, BrodesMedia.com. I've been implementing a lot more blogs, a lot more writing content. You're missing out if you're not reading that, so check that out, too. And with that being said, enjoy the show. What is going on, everyone? Welcome on into Sports Talk with Brodes. This is a very odd feeling, right? Because I'm happy they won the football game. There's no doubt about it. Being 2-3, not that the wins really matter, because at the end of the day, they're not going to be special enough to do any damage. I think that's pretty damn clear. But ultimately, you know, being 2-3 instead of 1-4 when you still have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Vegas Raiders on this gauntlet to start the season, yeah, it's definitely different. And the fact that the defense has some poise right now and they have some juice, they have some energy, there's mojo based off of creating turnovers. The front actually getting home. Fletcher Cox getting a big-time sack. Ryan Kerrigan getting on the stat sheet. Javon Hargrave continuing his surge. So I'm happy. 2-3. It's a nice win. You were down, and Jalen Hurts, when needed, came up big. The fourth quarter, the team put things together. Special teams, Davion Taylor, massive block. But also keep in mind, and I'm going to be honest with you, Sam Darnold flat out sucked today. There was a third down conversion that easily, really, I mean, it was a fine throw. It should have been caught. But Sam Darnold in general, he sucked. How many times do you see 3 interceptions from corners in one game? As much as I'm going to give Jonathan Gannon a lot of credit, because early on in the first quarter, they allowed the Carolina Panthers to put up 10 points, and I'm watching them go through these drives, and you're seeing a touchdown, and instantly, I believe, here we go again. We're going to watch his defense get exposed, but from that point on, after that first quarter, I will give him a ton of praise. That defense was the reason why you were in that game. They played sensational and really turned the page. Now, I do believe, too, though, like Carolina sucked. That quarterback sucked today. The first interception was amazing by Darius Slay. The second throw, it hit Darius Slay right in the numbers. Right in the numbers. He literally stared down Darius Slay and put it right in the numbers. And then the Steven Nelson one, my point is, like, seeing 3 interceptions by corners like that, I'm like, come on. I mean, I think Jonathan Gannon is way better than what he showed against one of the or 2 of the highest powered offenses in the league with Pat Mahomes in Kansas City and Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. I knew that he was better than that, okay? But at the same time, he doesn't have magical powers where now all of a sudden, like, come on, like, the Panthers kind of suck. The Panthers are not a team that really plays as good as their record says they are, and it doesn't help when Christian McCaffrey is not on the field, not in the game. So I'm not taking anything away from them. They answered the bell. They stepped up. They're trending in the right direction. The problem is, here goes the offense, which sucks. Nick Sirianni is clueless. Nick Sirianni is lost. These screen passes, what are we doing? Hey, screens here, screens there. What are we doing? The RPOs, embarrassing. It's not working. Just like I mentioned with, okay, I'll give Jonathan Gannon benefit of the doubt, not playing one of the most high-powered offenses. This is no longer the Chiefs' defense. This is no longer the Atlanta Falcons' defense. And they were missing a significant amount of players back there as well, which it probably would have been even worse if that was the case. So I look at this as the Panthers let it slip, but it hurts because I'm not encouraged by what I saw. Sure, defensively, it seems better. Does it look the same? Well, next week it's difficult because, as I alluded to on my Football Friday podcast, each week you have a different feeling based off of these circumstances of this season and knowing where we are. The Atlanta game, you think there's a chance. The Dallas game, you don't. The Chiefs game, you don't. This game you did. Next week, well, Thursday Night Football, real quick turnaround. You don't. You don't feel you can shut down Tom Brady with Antonio Brown and those type of playmakers, right? So it's unfair if the defense takes a step backwards and looks more like their problems they had over the last couple of weeks. I guess that makes a lot of sense. But ultimately, it's just from they came together. It seemed like that unit, that core, came together and played as a team, and that was awesome to see. This offense, it's embarrassing. I thought Jalen Hurts had a bad game. He missed that third down play to Zach Ertz. Oh, it hit his finger. No, that was a bad throw. Overthrew Zach Ertz for an interception. Big play by Jackson, who kept his feet in. What else happened? Missed Quez Watkins. Huge play. Could have been a home run hit. I thought Jalen Hurts had a tough day at the office. Now, the 2-point conversion to Devontae Smith, that's an amazing play. And he was utilizing his legs late. That's amazing. But that's what I'm yelling at the coaching staff more about. You're literally supposed to be coaching to the strengths of the quarterback. That's something that he can use in his game more. And Nick Sirianni's just not doing it. You saw Miles Sanders, Jalen Hurts. You saw what it's like when you're the defense and you have to make a decision. You don't know where the options go. Bang, there's Jalen Hurts running the football. Hey, Nick Sirianni, you're at the goal line. Bang, let's do a QB sneak. Oh, what do you know, a touchdown. Nick Sirianni looks lost, overmatched. We didn't care about wins or losses this year. It's, can we be encouraged by what we see? So far, we've seen 2 decent game plans, and the problem is, the game plan in this one was what? Get it to your playmakers and let them do work. Once again, that may be okay when you play slop defenses. When you play a defense that has a little bit more pop to them, 3 and out. And the penalties are still a problem. First drive, there's a penalty on the Eagles offense, but they declined it, so it doesn't pop up. Then the first play of the defensive opportunity, what do you have? Face mask. Penalty. Alex Singleton. I believe it was DJ Moore who basically gave himself up. Here comes Alex Singleton just putting his head in. Greg Ward at the goal line takes away a touchdown. Offensive pass interference, details, fundamentals, the little things. That's what this coaching staff talks about. You're the wide receiver coach, basically, the way that's your MO. That's your identity, Nick Sirianni. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside in the last game, and bang, what do you know now, Greg Ward? It's dumb. It's bad football. Miles Sanders running out of bounds late. That's dumb-ass football. And that's coachable details that clearly are a problem. They're problematic. So, hey, it wasn't double digits. It's a step in the right direction. But still, at the end of the day, and I'm being sarcastic when I say that, it's an issue with this team. How about Greg Ward? Excuse me, I bet you the Greg Ward one. Jalen Reagor taking the ball out of the end zone for a return. Jason Kelce ends up snapping it over Jalen Hurts' head. Would that have been the case if he just put his knee down and they go to the standard spot on the field? Would it be the same? I don't know. Maybe it would have been. But I'll tell you what, that should have been a touchdown instead of a safety. Think about the difference in the outcome of the game. Because the Panthers should have landed on that. Yeah, the Panthers shot themselves in the foot. Now, quite frankly, I don't think they're a very good team. They're not as good as what their record made it out to be. We're used to 16-game seasons, so let's say they start out 3-1 or something. There's no type of teams that finish with 8 or 9 wins. Hot start, hot September, fall apart later on. Not that special of a team. You're going to see their flaws, more on Sam Darnold. It'll be uncomfortable. And I thought Matt Rule and this team really let it slip. They were up like 15-6 and a half. Half was a major problem. And it's been such a really big portion of these outcomes. Every time, let's go back to the half. It was 4th and short. They could have went for it, Carolina did. Instead, they elected to punt with about 30 seconds left. They played prevent defense, and boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom. You get a field goal out of it if you're the Eagles. Now it feels a lot different. Now it's like, hey, you're in this thing. Hey, there's some momentum involved. So shame on Matt Rule. I would have went for it. The Eagles' offense wasn't moving the ball that well anyway. Keep your foot on the gas. They played back. They played scared. They played on their heels. What do you know? Prevent defense really hurt you. But the offense throughout, I mean, I can go through it. The offense as a whole was just miserable at times. I have here's one. This was when the score was 18-13 in the fourth quarter, right? They were actually moving the ball well. There was the Sanders run. It was the Jalen Hurts with the option. He ended up taking it a few times. You get the 3rd and 4, and it ended up being underthrown to Kenneth Gainwell, and it was a critical play, but no one's on the same page. You can see miscommunication happening at the goal line. Guys are pointing at one another, trying to listen in as the play clock, or as the ball needs to get snapped. Call a timeout. It's a 3rd and 4. Crucial part of the game. It's a 5-point game. You're in territory here to make a splash. No sense of urgency by the head coach. The game speeds up on him over and over and over again. And once again, you're going to see mistakes by a head coach who's young and raw and inexperienced. But this team's just not coached well. This team is flat out not coached well at all. It's okay to make mistakes and have a well-coached team. Both can be true. This is just not the case whatsoever. So it's a character win, and it's nice to see Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, some younger guys who made mistakes throughout the game. Devontae Smith, huge first down, bang, it gets punched out, and the Panthers pick up the football, and that was another turnover. This game was weird. This game was odd. It's nice to see the young cats come up and make plays late and all. Quez Watkins, the big play. And it's crazy, right? I wrote the stat down. I saw it from Tim McManus. At the time of, sorry, I got a shit ton of notes in this one. Did I actually write it down, or was it? No, I did. I know I did. Here it is. That 53-yard play to Quez Watkins on 3rd and 10. That was 41 yards in the air. Prior, the Eagles offense had 30. 30. So does Jalen Hurts have the killer mentality, if you will? He's got the late game heroics mentality. Yeah, I mean, there's something about that for sure. We talk about the intangibles, the things you can't really touch. Yeah, there's something to say about that, but this is not a way to win. And I'm happy they won. It's very conflicting for me because and I'm not surprised they won. I'm surprised they won this way. I'm surprised after the first 3 quarters that they did come up with the victory. It's major for them. But I'm not surprised. I thought that they would win. I said 24-21. They have an opportunity. I see them as a 6-win football team. These are the type of teams that you can beat with your personnel right now, and that showed it was the case. But you play this way 99% of the time, you're losing 100% of the time. I don't even know if that makes sense. But you don't win this way. You have to hope and pray that the other team shoots themselves in the foot. That's exactly what happened. That Panthers offense, Sam Darnold, poor decisions. Like that play where Steven Nelson intercepted it. Come on. Darius Slay, the second interception. Come on. Panthers had opportunities to convert on 3rd down. Didn't. Well, like I said, I'm not discrediting the Eagles defense as a whole. Yeah, that's part of it. You're in your spots. You're in your position. You're making Sam Darnold uncomfortable. But not every quarterback is making those ill-advised throws at the same time. But it did seem like this is what I'm looking at here from a positive perspective. They heard the noise. Darius Slay heard the noise. This defense, Jonathan Gannon, a lot of pressure on them. And it could not look the same way as it did where you're giving up 40 points. You can't get shelled and annihilated in the run game. Well, the Panthers look lost without their running back in Christian McCaffrey. For sure, 1,000%. They looked a little bit lost. That's the impact that type of player makes. Very special player. This offense for the Eagles, though, not very special. Dallas Goedert not being a big enough piece. Oh, I wasn't done, by the way, with that 4th down that happened, when it was 18-13, the 3rd and 4, they didn't call the timeout. They were actually moving the ball pretty well. They were in 11 personnel for a handful of plays. Then they went to 13. Then they went to 12, and now they're stuck on 4th down. They go back to 11. Something was working. You actually saw the Eagles offense moving and having success. So why are you now changing things and putting yourself in a tougher position when this was actively moving you downfield? And with the whole 11 personnel, 12 personnel thing, you can hear the frustration from Barrett Brooks, from Seth Joyner about what's going on with the usage rate of Dallas Goedert. Why is Zach Ertz being the one getting his number called in certain situations when it's clear Dallas Goedert is at a different part of his career now than where Zach Ertz is at, and maybe you should rely on that a bit more. Now, Dallas Goedert did miss a play by the end zone there late, right before Jalen Hurts scored, that he needs to make that catch. At the same time, though, it's obvious where these two are at in their career, and Dallas Goedert had the big play over the middle even before to set all that up to begin with. So it's really frustrating the way they're using their personnel. Miles Sanders is clearly boneheaded and lost and confused with basic football knowledge. At the same time, though, like these RPO, it's so flawed the way they use Sanders. It really is. Now, there's a reason why. There's a correlation between what you saw today late with all those running out of bounds situations. And that's coachable stuff, though. I mean, that's legitimately coachable stuff. It shows you the lack of awareness and the fundamentals and details we were promised. It's just not there. They're also not using Sanders in the right way either. And it's crazy to see this team 2-3 after that. Just crazy, you know? All those problems, the wide receiver screens, it made no sense. It's like he's playing Madden and he's hitting the R button just to flip what side you're throwing the screen on. 1 yard throws, 2 yard throws, just hoping and praying that there's something there. Nothing's there, Nick. Nothing's there. Can we change something up instead of pounding our head into the wall? Now, I'm going to go look up some Nick Sirianni quotes right now to hear what he has to say after the game. Felt like a complete team win. One unit's down, the other units have to bring it up. Excuse me? That's a complete team win? Now, that's courtesy of Michael Barkan, who just tweeted out the quotes, and normally he throws me in for a loop more than the others because I don't think he uses, like, full context sometimes, and I've been boned on that in the past. So let me pull up, one of the beat reporters who is tweeting away at exactly what it is. Nick Sirianni thought Jalen Hurts overthrew Quez Watkins on the 53-yard completions, but Watkins put on the burners to go get it. Okay, I'll have to go look at that one a little bit more. Nick Sirianni thought that completion, though, put new breath into the air. Yeah, I would say that makes sense. Doesn't seem like there's that much more going on here. The play Jalen Hurts made on the 2-point conversion was incredible. I've noted that earlier as well. Oh, here we go. That was the definition of dog mentality. Classic. Just that. See, to me, it's like, shut up. I don't even want to hear that garbage. Like, as if you could put a big smile on your face after this one. Like, yeah, I'm proud of the dog mentality that I've built here in this culture. No. That game sucked. Your offense absolutely sucked and got extremely embarrassed. I have some numbers after that first quarter. You ready for this? 3 runs total in the first quarter. Sanders had 2 for 7 yards. They were 1-5 on third down, and they finished with 34 yards. To begin the game, they're 3 and out. Pass, punts. Then there was the face mask penalty. Then there was a forced. Miss. Oh, huge sack that was missed. This was the Panthers' first drive where they scored a field goal. Huge sack missed. Darnold throws the ball away. It ends up forcing a 3rd and 10, but it could have been 3rd and a lot more. They end up getting a field goal to make it 3-0. Does that kick them out of field goal territory? Is there a fumble on the plate? Missing that sack is very massive and very huge. Eagles get the football back after that. They make it a 3rd and 4 after a Miles Sanders 6-yard run. 3 and out. Make it their 2nd in a row. Yeah, just crazy. Then the Greg Ward thing happens. Greg Ward just ran right into them. Literally ran right into the person they're supposed to set a pick on. You can't do that. That's dumb football. This team plays dumb football. So as you can tell, I'm all over the place with my emotions, but I feel that summarizes that game. A lot of the time it was miserable, it was pathetic, it was hard to watch, and I remember talking to my fiance going, this sucks, this is awful. Then I go up and say, all right, babe, I'm going to go record. Oh, how'd the game go? Oh, they won. What? They won? Yeah, I know. I don't have any information for you other than they found a way to squeak that out. Sam Darnold shot his team in the foot. Matt Rule did not help. The team as a whole collapsed, Carolina did. While the Eagles, they pounced on those opportunities, no doubt. But just not a way to live, that's for sure. The way to live is to utilize DraftKings Sportsbook. Another week of NFL season means another shot to win big at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can bet just $1 in any NFL game and win $100 in free bets if either team scores a point. The last 0-0 tie in the NFL was in 1943, so I'd say this is a no-brainer. DraftKings customers can also get skin in the game with the new same-game parlays. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code Brodes to bet $1 in any NFL game and win $100 $100 in free bets if either team scores a point. That's promo code Brodes this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Must be 21 or older, Pennsylvania only, new customers only. Restrictions apply. In partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. There's a couple of defensive players other than Javon Hargrave and Fletcher Cox that actually stood out, and those two were absolutely eating up front. Davion Taylor's name was mentioned a few times. Avery's name was mentioned a few times. I saw Marcus Epps make a big stop as well. And Avonte Maddox, how about that big bomb? And that's another sequence, though, where, the Carolina Panthers could have put more on the board. They missed the safety turning into a touchdown. Then they miss a big play downfield for a touchdown. Avonte Maddox did a sensational job at getting back and breaking up the pass. But then after that, there was a major wide open gap right down the field towards the sidelines. Could have been an explosive big play for the Panthers. They missed that right after the Avonte Maddox breakup. So at times I struggle with, hey, the defense did their job and the Panthers just didn't do their job. But ultimately, 18 points. And especially when you allow 10 in the first quarter, that's 8. So I know I'm doing a little bit of a tug-of-war match right now, giving them credit here, but at the same time recognizing the other side. But that's fair. That's called analyzing. Both can be true. Good job, Eagles defense. Wow, Panthers offense. What'd you do? You were at home. You were up third quarter to a team that could barely create any identity, yet you start to get fooled. Unacceptable, really. Let's flip the page. If the Eagles had that, if the Eagles were up, and they were struggling offensively, but they were up, and you watch a fourth quarter explode like that, what are we saying? Well, you got to connect on third down. You have to hit your plays. You got to execute better. Can't be throwing interceptions. That's what we'd be saying. But yeah, the turnovers by the offense can happen. The fumble, the interception. That throw to Ertz was awful. That throw to Ertz on third down, too, and everyone's like, oh, he got his hand. Oh, that throw was awful. It really wasn't even close. I don't know why people are saying Zach Ertz has to make that catch. That throw sucked. And I like Jalen Hurts. I'm rooting for the kid. Today, I get it. He made some late play heroics with his legs. The way he played today, though, is a losing brand of football. But I remember saying, prior to the half, I remember literally saying to myself, it's hard to even judge him because he's put in such a weird spot due to the coach being overmatched. If I'm going to tell you Nick Sirianni looks lost, how can I properly assess the quarterback making the plays? That's how I was feeling when he's dumping it off to these wide receiver screens and throwing it 1 yard and hoping and praying that there would be some version of success by allowing your offensive players to generate yardage with their legs. That may work against some other teams, but these better defenses who are missing a lot of players can figure it out. And you'll get nothing from it. But how can I really look at Jalen Hurts and say something about it? Then he started making those plays. He missed Quez Watkins, which led to a field goal instead of a touchdown. He had the free play. Free play. That's the one I was missing. Free play. You see the flag. He throws it out of bounds. Out of bounds? Now, he chucked it as many yards as he possibly could downfield, but that's absolutely egregious. Put it in a spot for someone to maybe make a play. If they don't, they don't. If they intercept it, they intercept it. It's coming back. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. So come on. I'm sweating over here. I'm all fired up about that. You might even be able to see my sweat on my face. It's really hot in here, too. Today's a really hot day in my office. Normally, it's not. I'm looking at my screen now. Yeah, I'm sweating. I'm legitimately sweating in here. I apologize. What else was going on here? Oh, there was one thing I wanted to mention. Oh, Mailata at right tackle. Yeah, there were some tough moments for him for sure. Hassan Reddick crushed Jalen Hurts from behind that one play. It was actually back-to-back plays. Jordan Mailata got exposed. But, look, if you think about it, yeah, there were some problems. There were some issues here and there. They have an explosive defensive front. You knew Burns was going to be called. His name, his number would be mentioned. You knew that Reddick's name would be mentioned. These guys make plays. Jordan Mailata going from left tackle to right tackle. If you thought that would be flawless, well, then shame on you. And you saw him and Jeff Stoutland speaking afterwards. I'm not telling you it was a great game by any means. But I think there's a lot more issues than just, hey, the offensive line. Jack Driscoll got beat at one point up that side as well. There was a penalty on Jordan Mailata. I'm not telling you it was pretty by any means, but based off of the circumstances, once again, with no Lane Johnson, no Brandon Brooks, flipping from left to right and all, okay. I don't think that was the problem. And maybe Nick Sirianni's mentality was, because our offensive line is so egregious, we're going to just dump the ball up. But if that's the case, shame on you. You have to do a better job. That's on you to game plan better than that, because that was egregious. Once again, heading into the week, I don't know what you were trying to do. Did you study Carolina? Did you see what Carolina did in the previous weeks with their run defense? There's an opportunity. There's a hole. What's that? Shaq isn't even playing? Oh, what do you know? Now it even makes even more sense to run in a conventional way. I'm not an old school bang the table. You have to run a billion times. That's not what I'm about. But this is trash. This is trash. It's been 5 weeks. This is trash. This doesn't work. So you need to do a better job at helping out your players, even with this offensive line, because this is going to result in a lot more L's, Nick. A lot more else. I'm actually dripping sweat. This is probably the most I've really sweat in a billion years sitting in this seat, and it makes no sense. I have the thermostat right there. It's not any hotter than it normally. This is thin as can be. This isn't anything heavy. This is a very thin Lululemon. It is the dry sweat. No. Dry sensed hoodie. Amazing. I don't know what's going on here. And I don't know what's going on with this Eagles football team either, but they won. And that's massive in terms of the wins and losses, even though it doesn't mean anything big picture, because we truly all understand where this team is big picture this year. They're not going to be very good, but I'm just not encouraged. I'm not encouraged by Nick Sirianni and what Jonathan Gannon built off this. Like I said, next week you're set up for failure, so I'm not going to demand insane excellence. I understand there's going to be a little hiccup involved, but I wanted to see fight from this defense, and they absolutely 1,000% gave us fight. Sure, I'm feeling better about the defense today than I did prior, and it's not our fault for getting on Jonathan Gannon. It's okay to get on them when they fail as miserably as they did in previous outings, even if their personnel is, then change your personnel. I mentioned Davion Taylor's name. I mentioned some of these cats' name out there while Singleton's making mistakes. Change something. Try something different. You don't want to have a dime package. That's what we are. We don't do dime package. You got to flip something around. I saw Avery's name. I saw different players. But I'm not encouraged by this team. Poorly coached still. Insanely poorly coached. Penalties, still a problem. Game plan, scheme, week to week, clueless. Their game plan made no sense. None. I can't believe it. They literally tried to throw 1-yard passes all game. And then they stayed with it. When are you going to change it? It doesn't work. You finally start taking shots. What do you know? Quez Watkins, 53-yard bomb or so. Amazing. What else is amazing is Orbit Energy and Power. With over 20 years of experience in the solar industry, Orbit Energy and Power is home to your solar experts in residential and commercial projects. Orbit Energy and Power also provides water purification systems, backup energy services, battery storage, electrical upgrades, new roofs, heating and cooling, and so much more. Make sure you check out their information at orbitenergy.us or call 800-836-3987. So just a few other things here as we kind of wind things down to look at what some of the people are saying in the press conferences afterwards. I kind of have to run here because I normally like to wait until everybody speaks and I can hear what they have to say, but I've been hosting on the Fanatic from 7 to 10 p.m., so I have a little window from when the game's over and when I have to leave, so I don't have the chance to just sit there and listen and analyze everything the coach is saying, unfortunately. So normally that's why I wait for the day after podcast, or the day after press conference, and I morph that into a day after pod as well, which I will be taking your phone calls then at 856-442-9805. And you can call in now, leave your message, and I will pick those calls for the podcast tomorrow. But I digress. It's a game where, you can look back at Jalen Reagor taking the ball out of the end zone, the high snap from Jason Kelce. Some of the penalties are still absolutely hurting this football team. Third and manageable compared to third and longs. You got to get yourself in a position. The RPOs, the usage of Dallas Goedert, the usage of some of these players in general. It's just not what I thought it would be. You have a lot of explosion. Well, there's more than one ways. I know, say, week 1, we were happy that they put the ball in their hands and let them go to work. Then week 2 and week 3, we were upset because Jalen Hurts was just throwing the ball downfield. It seemed like this week they were like, hey, let's just put them in their hands again. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Good defenses in the NFL are going to expose that if that's your life and death. If that's all you are going to rely on, you will fail more times than you will succeed. There has to be a lot of diversity here. You got to be versatile. You got to move around. You got to try different concepts. If it's nonstop wide receiver screens, it's embarrassing. It hurts. It hurts. No pun intended here with Jalen. So I think if you're confused, it makes a lot of sense. Because if you're being honest to yourself, if you're taking a step back and just analyzing what we just went through for the last 4 hours, here's what it is. Your team was bad. Your team was not prepared. Your offensive game plan didn't make a lot of sense for 3 quarters. At the end of the half, they were given a chance because Carolina elected to punt. 30 seconds, they made the most of it because they played prevent defense. You put some points up on the board. Sam Darnold throws some interceptions. You had some good pass rush. You were able to get to the quarterback, make him uncomfortable. But then the Panthers also missed some plays on 3rd down to convert a 1st down, which led to a punt. Davion Taylor blocked it. It was wild. The game made no sense. It was drunk. They pulled it out. You should be happy that happened. They pulled it out. Character win, if you will. Nice for young players to find a way to grind it out when they shouldn't have, right? I mean, there is something about that. I'm not going to discredit it fully. I'm proud from that angle of young kids. It's hard to win in the NFL, so if it's ugly, I don't give a damn. It's hard to do. It's not easy. On the road as well, it's difficult. Late, given opportunities, executed on opportunities. Okay, I'm okay with that. But where does that fall compared to the nonsense? Well, the nonsense is way more concerning, unfortunately, which eats me alive inside. So that's where I am. That's my instant reaction to this one. Before we head out of here, do you want to get an advantage over your sportsbook? Download BetQL. Their best bet model can scan over 350,000 unique bets per year to give you a best bet recommendation for every game across all major sports and gives you the reasoning behind why you should place the bet. Their model covers everything: spreads, over-unders, player props. There's sharp data so you can see who the pros are backing. Line movements, you can jump on betting opportunities in real time. Team lineup, breaking news, and injury status updates. Plus, you can save all your picks in one place to track your success and winning streaks, as well as view your rank on the leaderboards. Head to the App Store or Google Play Store now to download BetQL. Enter the discount code Brodes at payment checkout for 25% off any of their subscription offerings. You can find all this information in the description below. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode, and I will see you next time.